Welcome to the Kayla Evans Show. This platform is uniquely designed to educate and empower individuals of all walks of life as we converse with experts of various industries. These intellectual conversations are designed to inspire and uplift members of our culture and society, collectively gaining knowledge and information dedicated to our human experience. Let's get into it. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Kayla Evans Show. I'm so excited. Today we have a very special guest. Aalliyeh Clinton is here, everyone, aka Lee the Chemist. I'm so excited. This is such a unique opportunity for us to talk about something that I know absolutely nothing about beyond the scope of undergrad chemistry. And I just barely made my way through that class. So, everyone, Lee is here to talk about her line. She is a chemist. She has her own business that is surrounding chemistry and the industry, and she's here to talk all about it today. Hello, Aalliyeh. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much, Kayla. I'm excited to be here. Good evening, good morning. Hello, everyone. As she said, I am Aalliyeh Clinton, aka Lee the Chemist. Honored to be here and support my good sis and educate you all about science.
So tell us a little bit about your brand and what brought you to this space to create it at this particular time.
Yes, I don't know if you guys can see my logo that well, but there we go right there. The name of my business is called Monet's Engineered Materials, and we're an advanced textile company that creates personal protective equipment for scientists using a proprietary textile to enhance the protection level while also combining comfort and style. So we are breaking the barriers of how scientists are perceived and protected. So I am a very vibrant individual, and my brand exemplifies that, and I exemplify that every day. And as a scientist, we are very creative individuals, so we shouldn't have to be kept in a box about how we are presented while we're in the lab. But above all else, we should actually be properly protected, since we're the ones that's making the world flow how it's going. So that explains my colors and my logo, why we are so popping, because that's what we do. We're breaking barriers and we're setting new standards, and we're protecting our scientists and making sure we look good and feel good while doing so, which will increase productivity.
So your title is chemist.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background, how you became a scientist inherently.
Yes. Wow, many routes I can go to that story, right? So I will just talk about middle school. Okay, so Mr. Babushka, I still remember his full name. We used to call him Mr. B because some of us couldn't pronounce it. But he showed us a trick, really simple. For y'all who listen, if you want to try it, show your kids. They will think that you are a magician, just how I thought he was. So you take the silicone pack out your shoes or wherever there is packaging that comes with the silicone pack. Take the pack out, put it in a regular cup, any kind of cup you have, add some water to it, and you just hold it upside down and nothing comes out. Now at the age of however old you are in middle school, in the 7th grade, I was like, what's going on? Like, this is nice. I have to truly get involved. And then, we made ice cream. Like, we did all this stuff in middle school. And I was like, nah, Mr. B, like, what's this? How do I get involved? So you told me about this science fairs and all those amazing things. So when I was in middle school, I actually did a program with John Hopkins. It was a summer program. We stayed like 8 to 9 weeks in this little campus that they had with us, and we did robotics. Now, no offense to my people who do robotics out there, but that was just boring. That was not it. It was amazing to see I can input some stuff and see a robot picking up some balls and taking it to the goal. That was amazing. But is it really not? It's not for me. So from that point on, then I went to the illustrious Baltimore Polytechnic Institute, where that's a STEM high school. So they had Project Lead the Way and a HIP program through Northrop Grumman. So a high school improvement program where I was able to engage in a 2-year program. We came once a month, worked on a STEM project, and also received an internship if pass the interviews, and we received a scholarship for all 4 or how many years that you were in school. And then went to the prestigious Morgan State University, where I continued on with my degree. I went to another school at first, but they're not really worth mentioning because the experience there was just difficult. But thank you. I'm happy for all the good times and the bad times, right? Everything's about lessons and growth in life. But
That's right.
Morgan has so many different programs and just resources to you to get involved and stay involved if whatever you're doing. So of course I joined the chemistry club, and of course Go Science. That was pretty cool. But then I was like, I don't know, I'm about to graduate soon, right? Like I'm a junior. Where do I go from here? Or I was a junior, was supposed to be a senior. So when you transfer, you got to start all over.
I understand. I was a super senior myself, so
there you go, super senior. So I realized.
I understand. I did not transfer, so but I understand.
It's okay.
I did change majors.
You pushed it through.
I understand. Yes, absolutely.
So I realized that, okay, well, through my experiences, I really want to start my own company. So I'll pause right there and let you ask more questions, because I can ramble on about the science thing.
So you came through your undergraduate career, you came towards the end, and you said, what am I going to do now? Like a lot of young people have done the same thing, myself included. Coming out of undergrad, how do we transition into postgraduate activities, whether that looks like school or whether that looks like a traditional job, or it looks like entrepreneurship, like you're engaged in yourself?
Yes.
So as you made that decision to transition into entrepreneurship, and you decided, okay, I'm a chemist, this is who I am, and I am she is her walking brand, everyone. When I met Aalliyeh, hey, how are you? She introduced herself. This is who I am. This is my brand. And every part of who she is reflected in her brand. And that's why she's here today, because I believe in what she's doing. She is her brand inherently. But as you transition and you said, okay, this is what I want to do, what did you seek to do within our community, right? As a chemist, as a scientist, it's something that's not necessarily really popular, I would say, coming out of undergrad. I don't personally know anyone who is a chemist. So what motivated you to say, okay, this is something that I want to do, and this is how I want to educate and empower my community?
Amazing question. Literally what you just said, and I'm just sitting here like, well, now you know one chemist. But it's just that is truly what I wanted to change. Just growing up, I will get into my other programs, but growing up, you have the bullies and people calling you nerds, and I really never took offense to that, right? But when you realize why people are saying it, they're trying to be negative and derogatory, and I'm like, wow. Well, a nerd is just someone who's smart.
Yes.
And we're passionate about whatever it is that we're indulged in. So it's like, are you not a nerd yourself?
Right.
But I'm like, okay, cool. So let me, change the narrative of this word and make it more positive. So I have a program now called Cool Nerds on the Rise. That's my education program.
Okay.
We teach the youth about chemistry through hands-on experiments. And, backtracking to my for-profit, because that's just my DBA, which is doing business as it is not yet filed as a nonprofit, because, you need a whole lot for that. And I want to do one thing at a time. So I'm glad I
Yes, ma'am.
still have the freedom to still do this while I build my for-profit. But building my for-profit, I realized that being a scientist is not popular, right? STEM is a male dominated field, and then at
Absolutely.
that Caucasian male dominated field. So it's not the norm when you're out here doing sciences as an African American woman at that.
Right.
So I'm always, if you ask my cousin, I'm a revolutionary, right? I'm always here to break some rules and push some boundaries if possible, because rules are meant to be broken depending on what they are. That's how things become as so, because people push the boundaries.
That's right. That's right.
So I really wanted to encourage my community, my brothers and sisters, and those of other ethnicities and races, that you can do whatever you want to do, regardless of your background, the color of your skin, the color of your hair, the amount of tattoos you have, all these, isms and roadblocks they want to put out there for you. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it and if you give it a try. Most people don't even notice that half the things that they're doing are science, because science is life.
Everywhere.
Everything you do is science.
That's right. That's right.
I have a quote for that. I'll get into that later, but
okay.
Matter of fact, let's do it now. Science.
Let's do it right now.
Down to the food we eat, the ground we walk on, and the air we breathe. Okay. Leave the chemist. That's it. So science is everything. So I really wanted to educate my people and say, hey, if you know the rules of life, you'll know how to play the game. So you'll know what you're eating. You'll know what you're putting in your hair. What are you putting on your body? What are you breathing outside? All the different attributes of life, it become more clear to you because you're literally studying life, because science is life.
Wow. This is fantastic. So I want to talk more about the PPE itself, right? Yes. The background that I have with PPE is that I was a lifeguard and a swim instructor in high school and college. So I got my pool operator's license, and that's how I pushed my way to pay my little tuition in undergrad. So I have a little understanding what PPE is, from the boots to the gloves to the goggles to the jackets, but some folks may not. So can we break down what PPE truly is and why it's important in your particular field and what you're doing right now?
I actually had this as an icebreaker question on my upcoming event. The one I've been emailing you about. Yes, that was, I had my virtual kickoff event last Friday, August the 23rd, and it was truly amazing. And that was one of the icebreakers. What does PPE stand for? So before I tell you, you should know. Come on, Kayla, you know.
Yes,
what is
I know. PPE is personal protective equipment.
Yes, let's go!
I gotta know a little something before I come on the show.
You have to, right? So, personal protective equipment is truly what it stand for, right? Equipment that you wear that's supposed to protect you. And as a scientist and a chemist, we're dealing with hazardous materials. Some can definitely be harmful. Some materials are not, simple vinegar, alcohol. But then when you start to increase those levels of, it's like ABC, it's like levels of materials and their hazardous components. Okay. So when you start to increase those levels, you need to make sure that you have that proper protection, whatever that may be. So as a chemist, we wear lab coats, goggles, gloves, again, certain type of goggles and certain particular type of gloves, depending on what it is that you're actually dealing with. But I believe the norm is like nitrile, I believe, when you're in the chemical laboratories. Yes, I believe that's so. And you need covers, for your shoes, depending on, again, the type of lab that you're in. And that's about it. So again,
so what's in your particular line? So you have jackets.
No, yeah. So right now I have lab coats. Yeah, I was just about to get into that. I was like, how do I maneuver this without slandering anybody's name, with the lack of protective gear that we had to come across in our
Okay.
career.
So you saw a need in your particular field, and instead of complaining about it, you just went and created it for yourself.
Yes, a lot of people do a lot of talking but no walking. What are we going
Ooh,
to do when we're just complaining about it? We need to come together and let's
that's
make a
right.
solution to the problem. So, in colleges, I don't know if there's every college, but my particular college, we had like aprons in the laboratory, which is doesn't suffice for protection at all. And then at my previous internship, the company that I worked at, they actually motivated me and pushed me out the door to be an entrepreneur. When I wore coveralls, when I was in a clean room. So a clean room is you can't have your hands exposed, your face, nothing. This hair, everything has to be covered because any particle from your skin or your body could affect the environment and the testing environment.
Okay. Okay.
So the coveralls were too big, so that slows down productivity because I don't want to possibly hurt myself or damage anything that I'm doing. So I'm moving, really, really slow because my clothes are too big. And
Okay.
then as it relates to wearing the aprons, I don't really think it's too much to talk about that. It's an apron. I'm a scientist. Make it make sense. It really doesn't.
You did.
So
You
I
did.
realized doing some research, people have been, physically, psychologically, and we have some fatalities in the laboratory. And before that has become someone that I know or personally I had to deal with, I was like, nope, let's make this change. So my first products are definitely chemical resistant lab coats. So we're just increasing the level of protection and making sure that the permeation level in which the barrier that's supposed to protect you and your lab coat and your skin, that we increase that level of protection.
That's fantastic. And I've seen photos of the material itself. I'll see it, I'm sure, in person when I come to the gala coming up. But it's very
Yes.
thick, it's very vibrant, and in my mind, when I think of a lab coat, I just think of a white one, right? Just a basic white lab coat with the little clear buttons. But this line is popping. Okay, you want to wear this, and I think that definitely makes your brand new your brand unique in the marketplace. But I have a question for you. I want to go back to your program that you're doing for youth and how you're
Yes.
teaching them about science. So tell us again what it's called, and then what you're doing now in the community to educate our youth and adults about what science looks like.
Yes, thank you. So, cool nerds on the
Cool
rise.
nerds on the rise.
So, let's just break down that name for a second. Again, we talked about why I chose the word nerd, and of course, we're cool, but on the rise. So, the power of the tongue is very powerful. Things you
Yes.
speak, actually, you bring into fruition. So, that's a whole different conversation for another day. Hopefully, they understand what we're saying.
Yes.
So, I wanted to put that idea out there, like, hey, we're cool, we're nerds, and we're rising, which brings together my community to let you know that you may only see me, but I will not be the last chemist or forensic scientist that you see, because
right.
it will come. I will breed. I am pioneering a community of minority women and men in STEM. So I'm not only focused on women, and I'm not only focused on the youth, but you have to start one segment at a
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
my goal is to educate the community as a whole, my adults, my grandmas and grandpa, Gen Zs, X's, all those amazing people, because we all deserve that opportunity. We have to think about those who came before us. These opportunities weren't given to us. It was not
That's right.
handed to us. So they have no way to explore them. And I don't want to take that away from them because they're a mom or their grandfather. They still should have the opportunity to learn as well. But particularly I'm focusing on those pivotal ages of middle schoolers and high school, because hey, after middle school there's high school, after high school there's college, trade school, or some people get
That's right.
straight
Let's start
into
it
their
now.
career. Yes, so we have
Right.
to implement it in the now so they can get started and they can figure it out, because the STEM range is large. Like you can go from this field to that field to that field until you finally find which field actually suits you. But you have to do the exploration and exploring to
That's
really
right.
figure it out. So again, that's why I'm starting with my youth, and I've worked with the YMCA, Natural Born Champions. That's a program in Baltimore. Green Mountain East Leadership program in Baltimore. Banners Neighborhood, a program in Baltimore. And another program that is slipping my mind, but all programs in my community, in my city, Baltimore, Maryland. You know, people always ask, well, when you graduate, where you going? Are you moving out the county? Was I born in the county? Why would I move out of a community that clearly needs help and our support so they can grow? Who's going to give back to our community but us?
That's right.
Now, that's how I truly feel, again, about people saying they want to complain about the issue, but nobody's putting the work in to solve it. Like the reason why our community is lacking in certain areas because nobody's giving back, nobody's putting the time and the effort, the sweat and tears and the support to see us elevate. And that's a problem I have with the world in general, but just my city. Like Baltimore we're amazing. We have amazing individuals here. We have amazing people who have come out this city, and more people will come if we continue to give back to our people. So I'm all here for the community. You know, God gave me this purpose and his discernment to breed a community of life, because science is life. And I think that's what we missing.
Amen. Amen. Aalliyeh Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, the interview is over. I don't really know what else you need to know. Okay. That's it. It's all about the community. And I hear you, because I'm in cybersecurity. I work with men all day. I work with very few women. And the men that I do work with, they don't necessarily look like me. So I hear you. It's explorative. It should be collaborative. If there's anyone who's going to champion what we're doing, it has to be us. And it starts at home. It starts right here in our communities. And I applaud you for the work that you're doing right at home.
Thank you.
And the fact that you're including the entire community, not just one particular demographic. That's something that I believe that we need to be doing more as well. But tell us, Aalliyeh, where can we learn more about you on social media? Where can we purchase your materials? How can we collaborate with you and follow you and know more about what's going on with your brand?
All right, Kayla. Okay, follow me on social media. The name, guys. the name is
we'll
so
put
long.
it on here so folks can actually
please. It should be right here, guys. Monet's Engineered Materials. The spelling of the name is very unique. And just quick pause and just talk about that. Monet. People always ask me, who is Monet? It's me. It's my middle name. Why would I use my first name, right? It didn't rhyme. Aalliyeh's Engineered Materials. What kind of acronym would I make with that? You know? So MEMS fit perfectly. So yes, I don't have anyone other special. You know how people have grandmothers and stuff like that. Nope, it's just me, guys. So Monet's is me. So Monet's Engineered Materials. We're on LinkedIn under that business name as well. My personal name, you can follow me on LinkedIn. Facebook. You know, Facebook is a bit personal and professional, so I'm not going to give you guys that one. But LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube. I actually have a podcast uploaded from last year, so you guys can watch that one and watch this one. Just talk about and see the growth, right? The way that I'm speaking and what we're speaking about. How I actually talked about what I wanted to do in my community, and I spoke it into fruition into what I'm actually doing now.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Aalliyeh Clinton, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your journey and your story with us. I'm so excited to hear about what you're doing in your community and in your personal journey. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you. And as Kayla mentioned, please, can't wait to see you all at the gala. I've been so wrapped in the science, I forgot to promote my event. This September the 24th, 2024, from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the illustrious Baltimore, Maryland. I will be having my first ever gala. We'll be talking about personal protective equipment, safety, operations, and compliance at the City Garage. You can get your tickets right here. Tap that link, and we can't wait to see you all.
See you there, everybody. Thank you all for joining us for another fantastic episode of the Kayla Evans Show. I'm your host, Kayla Evans. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining me for another extraordinary conversation today on the Kayla Evans Show. I invite you to stay engaged with me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Please follow me at the Kayla Evans Show on all social media and podcast platforms. More love, more life, more blessings. Until we meet again.